Hey guys, welcome back or to the channel. Today we're going to work on this. In another video, we'll be working on that. And in the final video, we'll be working on this. And in another unrelated note, we're going to be using that. And we might even take this out today. If you can hear the background, my diesel is running. It's been a fun day so far. That's the turbo shut off / cool down mode. There's been a minute of extra run time. Yeah, the truck's dirty. She needs some love. She will get that. Now that we're done doing the heat cycle on the diesel, I believe the grid heater in it needs to be replaced because it takes forever for it to start up. But when she does start, she kicks. So that's good. Again, she needs love. So if you didn't notice, the fuel shut off is broken. I broke a while ago. I never fixed it. And I generally change my oil regularly enough so I don't have to worry about it. But I want to be able to shut it off. And that's what we're going to work on today. Got to figure out, because this is right close to the exhaust, whereas the other beast over here, there is lots of room to come in through here for the fuel shut off. I didn't need to do anything funky. That's what the exhaust is. Generally, you don't want to touch that or have the fuel going near that. I know the fuel is good in this, so don't worry about that because I use premium fuel for all my small machines. So there's premium in this thing. And generally, I keep things clean. This was left out during the winter time. Don't do that. So I'm hoping that it's okay, because that is usually full of water. And as you can see here, that's water dripping out of here. So who knows if this is cracked or even still viable. I don't see anything broken on it. But that's a no-no. You never want to do that. So the first part of the mission is to install the fuel shutoff valve. But I also decided to take a look around where I want to install it and make sure everything was good. Then I got into cleaning the carburetor. Kind of snowballed there. So like I said, guys, I use premium fuel, and I've never cleaned this thing. I've had this power washer for a good 10 years, if not longer, and that fuel bowl looks so much cleaner than the last one I cleaned. Taking a look at the air filter, I didn't intend to take all this stuff off. Again, this is original to the unit. That doesn't look bad. All I've ever done is, well, add fuel and change oil once a year. So this one will be eventually cleaned. I might just flip this upside down, just so, yeah. But I will replace that this year. Again, the carburetor looks really good. We're gonna pull the spark plug. Spark plug inspection. So that spark plug to me looks like she's been running hot. And it looks like it's okay. But I don't quite like it, so this could use a replace. As you can see, it's been in here a while, but we'll put this belt back together, see if she runs. And the next thing we're gonna do after we put this all back together is fix the fuel, add new fuel, and then do the oil change. So we cleaned out the bowl a little bit, checked it to see if there's anything in the bottom here. Blech, wish I could speak. It's decent. It's a little bit tarnished. I could get that out, but I'm not going to worry about it. I use premium fuel, so this will actually dissolve. And there is a little bit of water in the fuel bowl, which is common if you leave it outside. I don't plan on leaving this thing outside again. That's bad on my part. But we're just going to reassemble this and then do the fuel thing. We've got to figure this out. Reassembling the air intake. So intake assembly is already put back on. Still got to figure out the fuel. But if you look here, it's kind of bad. Like, typically, you should be able to put this up to the sun and see light through it. There's a bunch of stuff in here. And it's been on this thing a daggone while. You can tell the rust and stuff. This has been here. This is original. So this is not good, but it's better than nothing. Always replace these things if you see this kind of damage, this kind of dirt and debris. That way you keep your engine running as efficient as possible. Before the temporary reinstall, I'm just banging all the debris out of the filter. Now, to figure out how to install this so it works well, I'm thinking installing it right here, away from the exhaust, and this will, if I install it right, it'll keep it away from that. I'm installing the fuel shutoff valve so that I don't have to worry about fuel leaking past the carburetor into the cylinder, either creating hydrolock or premature wear and tear on the cylinder walls. Now there's lots of different kinds of fuel hose out there. This was on there originally, and you can see it's been reinforced, fiber reinforced. Great little hose, great against heat. Then this is what came with the kit. You'll see that there's a big difference between the two, even on the other end. Whereas the cut side, this I've used before, it worked, but it shrunk a little bit. So this is the superior hose. Make sure you get this stuff, and it also makes sure it's fuel, specifically fuel rated. I think there's different additives in our fuel these days compared to the old, and they attack the rubber and it degrades. Later in the video, I find out that when I installed the bad fuel line, because that's all I had to use, I actually split it, which caused a vacuum leak. So that isn't too bad. Like, you'll see here that the fuel shutoff was originally at the bottom of the tank, which is a great place for it. Now the fuel shutoff is at the mid of the tank, so effectively I've kind of limited my fuel consumption ability. So whenever it comes from, well, if I fill up to the brim and it comes down about here, it'll be empty. That's okay though. That I can handle. I don't really use this thing all day long. So for the 2.5 hours left in the tank, that's fine. So I'll call that my reserve. I don't know. But this was the best place to put it so that it wouldn't impact anything else, and there was space for it, so I can still do all the controls and everything. I could have found this, it would have cost a lot more than just a couple bucks for this, and that's why I went with here for a little bit less fuel. It is what it is. We're good to go. Now to clean up the tools and then do the oil change. Now if you look over here, if I can get this undone. There we go. Sometimes this falls out, sometimes I have to take it out. That's the bolt for the bottom of the block. As you can see, taking the taking the oil out of here is problematic. It's going to be all over the place anyways, but I don't typically take it out from there. I take it out from here. I can do it either by using a pump, or if you just tilt it on its side, let it drain out into here, and then you're good to go, which is what we're going to do. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. When you do this, it's best to have no fuel in the fuel tank. So now we've emptied out the oil. This is where we're going to add the oil in through the top, and we're going to use a funnel to do so. And then this will be the operating level. So it's currently raining, guys, as you can see, the little water spots and stuff and everything. And I'm enjoying my gazebo with the chandelier. Always check your manual for the amount of fluid to be added, or there might be a stamp on the side of the block.
Nice. That was not nice. Smart. Okay, on. Get the fuel can ready.
One hour later. After about 10 minutes of trying to manually pull start this motor, I kind of realized that there's a serious issue. Since the motor wasn't actually firing, my first thoughts were that the ignition coil had some issues. So I took the pull start off, I took the casing off, and that gives me access to the coil. So basically, there's lots of corrosion wheel and all around the stator. So we're gonna clean this off with sandpaper, put it all back together, and see if we can get a spark. So here I'm cleaning the flywheel, which has magnetics built into it, and when that spins, as you pull over the engine, it comes across the coil, and that creates the spark, because that transfers that magnetic energy into electrical energy, fires into the spark plug, and then that's your ignition point for the cylinder. And when there's the appropriate air to fuel ratio, it starts. So no spark in this entire thing. I have cleaned everything, changed the spark plug, cleaned the stator. Nothing. So usually in this case, I replace the stator. And that's a 9 horsepower. This is an 8 horsepower, same motor, same style of build, just smaller cylinder. So theoretically, that stator lives here. I can transfer that over to there. Don't really want to do that. So we know this one's all taken apart. There's 2 coils down there. Those are ignition coils, not stators. Stators, coils, alternators, all kind of the same thing along the same platform. Again, took it off this unit, which we know runs. Everything runs perfectly. So the spark plug from here, excuse the neighbor's dogs, is now into that machine, and the coil is going to be there as well. I looked it up online, and it's between $30 and $60 to get a replacement for this. So we're just going to reinstall this thing, and hopefully it runs. Sometimes it's lucky to have the same parts on another machine that are easily transferable over. These ignition coils are good between 6 to 16 horsepower. So I just transferred everything over and cleaned it up. 1 hour later. Problem that I found is the carburetor. You needed a clean out, but the line was cracked right here, like so, and that didn't give enough fuel pressure and vacuum, and therefore it wouldn't start. But all the other maintenance I did anyways was needed, so there you go. And she runs. Boom. Nope, usually it backfires. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked the video. Have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace! Remember, guys, the fuel's still shut off at this point, so it's just the residual left in the carb. Right? What's wrong with this thing, man? I'm here. I just took a look at it. I had the fuel shut off. You know how I am. That was hilarious. Well, at least we know that works.